CoreconLink for Xero acts as a bridge between Corecon and your Xero accounting software. Transactions such as bills, subcontract invoices, miscellaneous expenses, and your client prime contract invoices will export from Corecon to Xero. In turn, once bills or sub-invoices are paid, or once you've received a payment from a client or customer on a prime invoice, the payment information in summary will export from Xero back to Corecon. This is the fourth video in a series of 4. We do recommend that you view all 3 videos before you begin this one. In this video, we're going to discuss the sync process itself. There are 6 steps in the CoreconLink for Xero. In addition, we're going to touch on a few more advanced features under the Contact Management tab, Accounts Payable tab, and Accounts Receivable tab. If you're just starting out using Corecon, if you already have customers set up in your Xero accounting software, you will need to manually link to the existing customers that you have in Xero. The illustration we're going to use first, however, is if you have not already set these up in your Xero accounting software. So I want to go back to Corecon and show you that we have a new project set up. And if we go down to Client Contract Admin and go to Prime Contracts, you'll see we have a new prime contract set up as well. There is also a company not already in Xero called X Corporation, which we'll also need to create. We also have one prime invoice or progress billing ready for export to Xero. If we go back to the project home and down to procurement, we also have a bill already set up and a sub-invoice set up ready for export to Xero. Note that they're all marked approved. Back to the CoreconLink for Xero. Let's begin running that sync process. First step we come to are export Corecon bills and sub-invoices. We're going to uncheck all and just focus on the project mentioned. So there's a bill ready for export, and here's a sub-invoice ready for export. And then we're going to click Export Bills and Sub-Invoices. Click OK. There is one miscellaneous expense ready for export, but it's for a different project. So I'm going to uncheck that and click Skip. Now we have one prime invoice ready for export, so I'm going to unselect all the others so we can focus on just the one that we mentioned before, and click Export Approved Prime Invoices and click OK. There's also some employees ready for export, but we'll skip that step as well. We could go to the sync log and follow the information. For example, you can see that the sub-invoice, the prime invoice, and the bill have all been exported. But we can also go to Contact Management and go to View Exported Customers, and we'll see that the new corporation or customer was exported. That's the company information only. Go back to Home. If we go over to Accounts Payable, we go to View Bills Exported, and we can see the bill now shows as exported. Back to Home. We can go to View Sub-Invoices Exported. You can see the exported invoice information. Back to Home again. We'll switch to Accounts Receivable. Go to View Prime Invoices Exported. And back to Home. Next, let's go over to Xero. We'll go to Contacts and Customers. We scroll down, we see the customer company information has been exported to Xero. And we'll switch over to the Business tab and down to Bills to Pay. We see both the vendor bill and the sub-invoice have exported. Back to Business again, and to Invoices. And we see the prime invoice has also exported. We'll switch to the Awaiting Payment tab. And to illustrate the payment information that flows from Xero back to Corecon, Let's go ahead and mark this invoice as paid. And we'll just click deposit. And back to the business tab. And back to the CoreconLink to Xero. Let's go back to the sync tab. We use the sync feature to move information from Corecon to Xero. But we also have a sync process called update payment info. We'll go ahead and select that. It says payment information has been synced successfully. We'll click close. Now we'll go back to Corecon, back to our project, down to client contract admin, and we'll open the prime invoice. We see the invoice total and the payment information. We also see a lock icon on the left side that tells us it's been exported to Xero. If we open the prime invoice, we come down, you'll also see the accounting status and that payment information has moved back from Xero to Corecon. That same process occurs with bills and sub-invoices. Back to the CoreconLink. There's also a few advanced features you'll want to know about, especially if you're just starting out using the CoreconLink. We go to contact management, for example. You have the ability to manually link customer companies and supplier companies, manually link employees. You have an auto link, so if you run the auto link and they do not find an exact match, you can use these manual link features. We go to accounts payable. We can also click on view bills not exported, find bills that are already in Xero and were entered in Corecon separately or manually, and we can mark those as exported so they do not export again. The same for sub-invoices and for miscellaneous expenses. If we go to accounts receivable, we have the same option here. When we mark any of these transaction types as already exported, it'll move from this list up to the exported list. If you'd like to know more about the information in this training video, we encourage you to go to Corecon's knowledge base, down to the integration and public APIs, to accounting and ERP, to Xero. If we scroll down, you'll see the information covered in this training video will show up in these knowledge base articles.